Okay, so in this set of testing, we're going to go ahead and test this fixture that I showed you before. And how that's connected is, of course, through the use of our meter. And it's tied in so we can get our amperage reading as well as our voltage reading. So that's just that simple connection there. And I will show that to you that it does glow through the circuit. So that says that we're definitely putting out some amps. It's going to show the amp readings that's there as well. We're also going to do another glow test with another type of bulb. This right here is just a small car bulb, but I want to show you how it glows on AC versus DC. So this is going to be a two-part test for this bulb. And then we're also going to glow our main fluorescent that we screw into the light and everything like that. So we're going to glow this bulb as well. So I'm going to show you each one of those. I'm going to show you with the light off, and so that you can see the bulb glowing and everything, just like we did in the other tests. And hopefully you'll enjoy this video. Okay, so here's this little luminaire lighting. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put out this light that's showing on the meters for just a second so that you can see that it's glowing. That's glowing fairly well. I'll put this back on, and you'll notice on our meters that we're generating 33 volts off of our coil. I'm going to show you that wire connection in just a minute, because remember, the one side of our coil was only producing about 18 volts, but our meter's showing 33 volts now. I'm going to show you that connection in just a minute. But we're going to test all of our bulbs doing the coil this direction. And that's when I talked about the way that we're able to force more power through our coil than what it generally wants to put out. So I'm going to show you that. But you'll notice that we're drawing 55 milliamps through our circuit to light the bulb to where it's at right now, and 33 volts. So just with the on-off switch, and then with the on switch, you'll see it'll come back to a glow. So the next bulb that we're going to glow is this one, and that's the 12 volt bulb. But as you can see, we can glow it on AC as well. We're drawing about 500 milliamps, 530, and it's taking pretty much our voltage there. It's dropping it down to about 4 volts, but you can see where we're glowing. And again, I'm going to turn out this bulb for a quick second. So that you can see it glow. And then I will reconnect the bulb. And again, you can see it glow. Now our next bulb is going to be our standard fluorescent. I'm just going to hold it in my hand with the one side of our meter and then the bottom side of our meter. And you'll see it comes on and glows quite well. I'll try and hold it here so you can see it with one hand. And then I'll turn out our other bulb so that you can see it glowing. So you can see it works quite well. We're drawing 263 milliamps, so it's well within regulation for where the bulb should be drawing. And we've dropped it down to about 25 volts to power this lamp up. But you can see it glows quite well. And I'll cover up the light one more time so you can see it. So some really good results here. Okay, so I wanted to show you the wiring connections that we have here. There was a post that I made about connecting the small wire and the large wire on the coil to produce more power. And that's exactly what I've done here. And as you can see, you can double your voltage on a coil just by simply connecting the two sides of a generation coil together. And how I did that was I took, and if you notice our red wire here, that's the start of our one coil. And if you follow that over, you'll see that it's on the start of our other coil. and then we have our power coming off of the two ends of our coil. So the start of our small wire is going to the start of our big wire, and the end of our small wire and the end of our large wire are connected, and that's where we're drawing our power directly off of. And that's what this wire is going to. And then we have for one side of our meter, I'm going to trace this back for you. And the one side of our meter is going into our amperage, which is going into here. And then I'll zoom in so that you can see the amperage side there of the meter, so that you can see the meter there. Okay. And then our negative, I just have here for when I'm making contact, just to keep them both separate so that we don't have a problem with some sparking, because it does produce some violent arcs. That's how we're making our contact, is between these two wires for our amperage and this wire that's coming directly off of our two poles that you can see here. And those two wires run directly up into our screw block like I've shown you before. And then that runs over from our coil, where you can see our large wires and our small wires, and then that runs over for our coil that's sitting here. And I can actually take this apart really quick and show you our coil here, so that you can see where our wires are coming off of and how they're coming off of the coil, and then the spacing from the coil. You can see exactly how that's sitting right now. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put this back together, which is there. Set our clamp back together. And go ahead and tighten that back down. Okay, and that resets that, so that you know exactly where our connections are sitting here. So I wanted to show you that. I'm sorry about the camera shaking a little bit, but I'm trying to do the best camera work that I can do right here. So you've seen our different bulbs, our DC motor, and how we're connecting those, as well as our little DC bulb. And I'm going to show you a different way to hook up the DC bulb, so it's actually running on DC, and you'll see the power difference in that. I thought it was kind of an interesting result, so I want to show you. And then I'm going to show you the meters here. You'll notice that there's no amp draw just yet, because there's nothing connected. Now once I connect our negative and that, you'll see our bulb come alive, and you'll see our amp draw once again. Okay, good. Now what I want to show you is with this meter, I'm going to put it on volts. I'm going to change it to AC so that you can see the voltage. Now, if I connect just to our coil, you're going to see it's producing about 17 volts. If I connect to our other coil, you'll see that it's producing about 17 volts. Now, if I connect to where our power is coming out, then you'll notice that they're both the same. Okay, so what that shows is that each side of our coil is producing around 17-18 volts, and when you pair those together, we're able to produce twice as much voltage coming off. We're also able to produce twice as many amps coming off as well, because if you pair one, you naturally have to pair the other. So that's what I'll show you. I'm going to turn off all the lights, and I'm just going to show you the arc between all these. So I'm going to turn off all my meters. So they're all off, and I'm going to turn off all the lights so that you can see the arc.